Hello everyone, my name is Nick, and like I promised, I'm going to be doing some more D&D content on this channel. And I thought something good to start off with would be to start a series of tips and tricks series. And today, I think what I want to go over is the importance of backstory. Now this is mostly to help DMs, but it could also be of use to players to some extent. So, as a DM, something you're going to be getting from your players is a character backstory. Now, a terrible DM will just glance over it and disregard everything that is written there. And that's really not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to go through the backstory of your player characters and try and identify how you can connect this backstory with the story or storyline, quest line that you want to have the players run through. And I think backstory can be used very effectively to do that, and it can be very effectively used to get characters interested in your story. For example, minor spoilers for the Waterdeep Dragon Heist module. But about 2 years ago, when I was starting to DM for my current D&D group, we were running through the Waterdeep Dragon Heist module after we had been playing with a different DM who quit due to various life issues, which left me to take up the reins as DM and run everyone through a module I'd run once before, and hopefully have a fun time with it. But anyway, in this module, there is a optional business rival. Like very early on in the module, the party will be getting a inn that they can renovate and get back in working order, and the trying to do that is also incentive for them to go on the main quest. But so they get the inn, and they have this business rival, Emic Froon. Now, normally, this is probably just like a throwaway line of lore in the module. It said that Emic owes lots of money to various like money lenders, so he's trying to turn a profit with his business, and that's why he's so antagonistic towards characters, because he desperately needs to succeed. Now, it is kind of implied that the moneylenders is probably like the Zents and their money lending operations. However, that's not what I chose to do in this module. Now, some backstory. Well, backstory of my characters, or at least two of my player characters, had this interesting fellow by the name of Welby Thorngage involved in their backstory. Our halfling bard, her family used to own this property, which Welby wanted to purchase. The family refused, so he poisoned all of them and framed our halfling bard. And she has been on the run since that happened. And our turtle barbarian was originally a bounty hunter who was on the trail of the halfling. And when he heard the story from our halfling, they kind of joined together, and our third character kind of got caught up in the rigmarole of the turtle trying to capture the halfling. But since both of these characters had this NPC by the name of Welby Thorngage in their backstory, and it's been established he is purchasing property for whatever reason, I thought, you know what, maybe he is the moneylender to Emic. And so when the party meets Emic, he mentions that he had taken out some loans from a very wealthy individual to purchase his property, and he offered to take the inn from the party, which they refused, obviously. And the party didn't really think much of that at that point. It was just starting out in the module. It eventually came to a head when the party went to a local theater to meet up with a harper contact of theirs. And when they were at the theater, I had a kind of like page or / announcer kind of like go up and be like, "Attention, all theater guests. Please welcome his lordship Welby Thorngage." And the look of just sheer panic on my players' faces was extremely memorable, as they all they didn't know what to do. They immediately recognized that name, and they were instantly in, okay, we need to make a plan. How are we going to do this? Oh god, what's going on? What evil plans does the DM have for us? And that kind of mindset. And I think eventually they did like disguise the halfling as a baby, and our tiefling ranger was using magic to use an illusion to make herself look like a human and pose as the mother of the halfling. And it was really weird, like, character moment, and it was a lot of fun, and it was very funny. But after that session, my players like, that was amazing, and like as soon as they heard the name Welby Thorngage, they knew that this was going to be a good campaign. Because our previous DM didn't want to or didn't get the chance to really explore character backstories, and was just kind of like going through the motions of the module that she was running for us. And I think, while the kind of main quest line is fun, you should always try to make a concerted effort to include character backstories in some way, shape, or form. Like, do not be afraid to make minor alterations to a module to accommodate a character backstory. Like, character backstory is one of the major things as a DM you need to provide for your players. Like, you need to show that you've read it and that this has some sort of meaning. Like, if they put in their backstory that they have like a wife, kids, family, like those NPCs should show up at some point. Or maybe if the party isn't feeling too involved with the story, then maybe the BBG pays them a visit and they get caught in the crossfire or something to that effect to kind of get the party on track. And kind of going off of that, another group that I ran through the Waterdeep Dragon Heist module, they were just completely disregarding the main story. And one of the characters, like, offhandedly mentioned that their character really loved croissants and that they were going to go looking in the city of Waterdeep for like a croissant shop or something to that effect. And so what I did to get them kind of interested in the main story to some extent was I had them find a croissant shop in Waterdeep, but as they were about to enter it, kind of a gang fight between the Zents and the Xanathar Guild broke out, and the croissant shop was destroyed in the carnage. And that, for that campaign, that basically started a crusade against both of those criminal organizations for no other reason than to avenge the croissants, which is very funny and very in character for that party. And like that interaction and the interaction with the first group, none of that would really happen if I hadn't paid any attention to character backstory or information that my players provide me about their character. For example, in my first ever game DMing for a group, I did try to accommodate character backstory as best as I could. I was kind of a noob. We had a changeling in that group who had a childhood friend who they kind of fled when they were caught, and they kind of lived most of their life thinking they were dead. And of course that childhood friend appeared as an NPC in my campaign as a goon for the BBEG, and that was a wonderful story that kind of played through with that and exploring that relationship. And I think that's really all the personal examples I have of why backstory is incredibly important. Like, just read your characters' backstories and try to incorporate them in your campaigns. It's generally just this video, and it's, as a DM, doing that, it'll make your life a lot easier, and it'll make your players a lot more engaged in your games.